using sex to improve your health and your energy levels. Now, what he considered to be proper sex is sex without semen emission, sex without ejaculation. Hey guys, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can magnetize your ideal life. If you're interested in learning more about sexual mastery, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified when I release new videos. Make sure you grab my free ejaculation control guide. There's a link in the video description below. So I'm going to talk about semen retention in the context of ancient teachings. Many ancient traditions, such as Taoism and Hinduism, talk about the importance of preserving semen. And the common theme is that retaining your semen is important to further your spiritual progress and to maintain your health and energy. So in the Hindu tradition, the semen essence is known as virya. And according to Ayurveda, the body takes in food, and this food is first turned into chyle, which is this substance that's formed in the small intestine during digestion. This chyle turns into blood, the blood turns into the flesh turns into fat, and the fat creates the bones create bone marrow, and then the bone marrow creates the semen. So the semen they consider to be the most refined product of the body, and because of this it's very sacred to them. They consider this virya to be a very important foundation of health and spiritual growth, and consider it to have tremendous power and not something that is to be, tossed out of the body lightly. Swami Sivananda, who was a Hindu teacher, he said that the falling of semen brings death. The preservation of semen gives life. Semen is the real vitality in men. It is the hidden treasure in men. It brings strength to the intellect. So this concept of semen retention in the Hindu tradition is often known as brahmacharya, and many people associate brahmacharya with celibacy, and that's somewhat true, but really the path of brahmacharya is about being pure in your mind, in your body, in your thoughts. And one aspect of this is retaining the semen, not tossing it out into the world, but it's also about being aware of your thoughts, your feelings, basically the energy you're projecting out into the world, not having lustful thoughts and not chasing after these sensual pleasures. So it's really about control on all aspects of your being. And then the Taoist tradition had their own view of sexuality and cultivating sexual energy. So the Taoists considered semen to be an aspect of jing, and specifically the essence of the semen is jing qi, that sexual energy, and it has a very specific quality to it in that it amplifies things, it bonds things together. And many of the Taoist masters cultivate sexual energy and use it to empower their alchemical meditations, their internal practices, and use it to harmonize their health, their energy, their relationships with others, and to fuel their spiritual progress. Pengzu was one of the advisors to the Yellow Emperor. There's a very famous series of writings known as the Yellow Emperor's Classics of Internal Medicine, which were some of the oldest texts on Chinese medicine theory. So supposedly Pengzu lived to be about 150 years old. Some sources say he was 400 years, some say he lived 800 years, and this may be an exaggeration, but there's all these legends about these Taoist masters who lived to be hundreds of years old. And there may be something to this because they learned the secrets of the human body, cultivating their energy, balancing the yin-yang fields in the 5-element theory. And from their deep and powerful internal practices, they may have been able to transcend the limitations of the human body as we understand. So Pengzu, he was quite old, but the legends say he looked extremely youthful. And this is one of the reasons he was an advisor to the Yellow Emperor, because he knew the secrets of longevity and graceful aging. So Pengzu's secrets to longevity included practicing semen retention, doing breathing exercises, Dao Yin and Qigong, which are basically Chinese yogic practices. And he really emphasized the importance of doing sexual practices which amplify yin-yang energies in the body. So he emphasized the importance of having sex in a harmonious way and using sex to improve your health and your energy levels. Now, what he considered to be proper sex is sex without semen emission, sex without ejaculation. So basically having a lot of sex, but it's very important that the man holds the semen, holds his ejaculation during sex, and this makes sense because when you have sex, the body's producing all these hormones, all these youthful hormones. And when you stop having sex in your life, it's a use it or lose it situation. Eventually the endocrine glands, the sexual glands start to dry up. They stop producing these youthful hormones. And once the lower endocrine glands dry up, all the other endocrine glands start to dry up as well. This is what causes aging. the endocrine glands stop producing these youthful hormones. So having sex constantly really makes the endocrine glands stay awake and produce all these hormones. But it's important that you're not frequently ejaculating, because when you ejaculate, you lose all that energy that you build up. But when you're having sex without ejaculating, you build up all this energy, all these hormones, and it keeps you young, vital, and vibrant. So Peng Zhu said that men cannot be without woman, woman can't be without man. To be solitary and long for intercourse shortens a man's life and allows 100 ailments. Ghosts and demons will take advantage of such a man to copulate with him. Jing, which is that semen essence, Jing lost in this way is 100 times worse than the normal way. So what he's saying is that basically relationship is important, sexual connection is important. When a man is, living a celibate life, but he's having all these thoughts about sex, then these ghosts and demons will visit him and pull this sexual energy out of his body. And it's kind of this old superstitious theory that, these demons will visit you in your sleep and you'll have these nocturnal emissions because you're having sex with ghosts basically, and they take your energy. Now, this may just be old superstition, but there could be something to this as well. So it's important when you're practicing semen retention, in my opinion, that you're not just suppressing your sexual drive, because it's going to come out eventually and you'll have these, these ghost sex experiences. So overall, Peng Zhu's approach was to maximize contact, meaning maximize the amount of sex you're having, have lots of sex basically, and minimize leakage. So minimize the energy lost during sex. And this was really the Taoist approach to all things, which I find quite practical and grounded, is that they never tried to suppress anything. They never tried to suppress the sexual desire. A lot of the Indian tradition, the brahmacharya tradition, there's often a suppression of the sexual desire. But the Taoist approach was to take a natural impulse such as sex and cultivate it so that it generates energy, generates qi, and that there's no energy loss from it. So they developed all these methods for having sex without ejaculation, still having orgasms, and really cultivating energy from that sexual exchange without losing anything. And of course, some of the Taoists took it to extremes. There's these emperors that would have all these concubines. They would round up all these young virgin girls and have sex with them to extract their young, yin jing essence. So it was a form of sexual vampirism, and this was a very Confucian influence. Confucian was a very male-dominated, really trying to, getting women to serve them basically. Confucius would never teach women. And so all these methods were developed for these emperors to try to basically, suck the energy out of women to keep themselves healthy and vibrant. So this was a bit of a distortion of the original Taoist teachings, which were very harmonious as far as the male-female dynamic. It was about balance instead of trying to take someone else's energy so that you can thrive. It's about an exchange. So there's a definite difference between the Taoist approach and the Indian, the brahmacharya approach. As I said before, the brahmacharya approach often led to sexual repression, sexual suppression, just suppressing that sexual desire, just trying to think pure thoughts and forget about the sex drive. But what happens is when you suppress the sex drive, it often resurfaces in unhealthy ways and makes you act on your sexual impulses, in less than desirable ways. Whereas the Taoist approach, you never suppress anything. You simply redirect that impulse and harmonize your exchange during sex so that you cultivate energy to enhance your health, your vitality, your energy, and use that to fuel your spiritual growth. When I started using Taoist sexual practices many years ago, I had so much more energy, so much more vitality in my life, and it just really changed everything for me. I really liked the Taoist practices and their approach to sex because, again, you're not suppressing anything. You're using your sexual energy to boost yourself, to amplify yourself. Thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in learning the methods, the Taoist methods of cultivating sexual energy, having sex without ejaculation, full body orgasms, check out my course, Multi-Orgasmic Man. It launches every 3 months. The next round is going to be in January 2020. I'll put a link to that in the video description. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. Have a great day, my friends.